So yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm living my best life. I am dead. I am deceased. I am a ghost. I really thought that I had figured SJM out, but no. She was like, babe, absolutely not. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel and today is House of Sky and Breath Day. Welcome to my reading vlog for House of Sky and Breath. Happy Crescent City Day, happy Sarah J Maas Day, happy Hunt and Bryce Better Be Endgame Day, okay? I am in my car because I am sitting pretty much right outside of my Barnes & Noble, vlogging in public for the first time, gotta love it. I'm about to go in and buy the book and I just wanted to talk to you guys first. I'm freaking out. I'm so excited. It almost feels like it's like Christmas or the first day of school, or I don't even know. I loved the first day of school. I don't know if that's weird, but I always really looked forward to it. So I'm so hyped. I woke up super early because I like couldn't sleep. I feel so lame. I'm a 27-year-old woman and I am like so hyped for a fairy angel mermaid book, but you know, here we are. I have been thinking about this book like every single week since I finished the first one, and I read the first one in December 2020. So it's been a time. It's been a long time. I'm ready to go get it. I'm afraid I'm gonna go in there and it's not gonna be out and I'm gonna have to ask for it, which is gonna be really embarrassing because they opened like 10 minutes ago and I just feel like I'm gonna be like the most eager person ever. This vlog is going to be me reading House of Sky and Breath, giving you guys all of my reactions, and I am going to do a mostly spoiler-free vlog. I want to put that out there first. I am not going to talk about spoilers until the very end of the video, and I will have it clearly marked. So this will be a spoiler-free vlog all the way until the end of the video. So do not fear, I will give you guys plenty of warning before I go into the spoilers. I was gonna do an entirely spoiler-free vlog, but I just know myself and I'm gonna need to like scream about this book at some point in the video, and that'll be at the very end, so do not worry. However, I will say there will be spoilers for the first book. I just don't feel like I can talk about the book at all if I'm not able to mention what happened in House of Earth and Blood. So just be aware of that. There will be mild spoilers. I won't go into like crazy detail or anything, but there will be some spoilers for the first Crescent City book. I think it's time. I need to go into Barnes & Noble and go pick my baby up. I will check in with you guys once I have the book in my hands. Here, I have it. Oh my god. I walked in and immediately there was like a huge table for it, and I should have known that, but I was just so afraid that they weren't gonna have that set out yet, and I was gonna vlog when I was in there like picking it up, but I was literally one of 3 customers. Like the Barnes & Noble's employees were still vacuuming and like setting shit up, so I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do this because there's no way I can do this casually. But I have it and it is chunky. Like this is a fucking huge book. It's so much bigger than the first book. I think the page count is around the same. I just think they must have composed the book differently, but oh my god, it's so beautiful. We have our baby Hunt here, and oh my god, I literally can't wait. I have no idea what is in store. As I said, I haven't seen any spoilers. The only thing that I've heard, and this is not a spoiler, is that there is a prologue of this book that feels very like out of place, almost like, am I reading the same book type of thing? And this prologue is obviously very important, but other than that, I don't know. So I'm gonna go home and I think I'm gonna start reading. I haven't decided if I'm gonna annotate or not. At first, I really wanted to, but I kind of just want to read the book and not annotate, but then part of me thinks it would be fun to at least annotate like foreshadowing and things like that, because I inevitably play detective when I read big fantasy books, and I want to find out what's going on, because while we do know the general idea of what's going to happen in this book after the first one, I don't know exactly how we're gonna get there. So I may annotate, I may not, but I will frequently check in with you guys, spoiler free, as I said. And yeah, I hope that you guys are having a great day. If there are other House of Sky and Breath girlies out there, I hope that you guys are enjoying your read of this book. And yeah, I can't wait to get into it.
Feel misunderstood, trying to get my mind right, baby, please just paint what you know. Oh, oh.
Okay, so it is time for my first check-in of House of Sky and Breath. I am about 100 pages into the book and oh my God, I'm absolutely loving it and I'm very concerned. So that is kind of my resounding feelings about the book so far. It's amazing, but like, I don't know where Miss Sarah is taking us. So it has been a very interesting read so far. I did end up deciding to annotate the book. If you've read the prologue, you know, like that prologue has so much going on in it that I just realized I needed to be taking notes so that I can understand what the heck is going on and where this is all leading to. So even though the prologue was very kind of confusing and out of nowhere, I did really enjoy it. And then of course it was so great to get right back with Bryce and Hunt. I have missed being in this world and missed being with these characters so much. I'll quickly explain my annotation system for this book. I did green tabs for anything that is like foreshadowing or plot. So anything in the plot that I really want to pay attention to or foreshadowing that seems very important. I feel like every single sentence that Sarah J. Maas writes could be interpreted as foreshadowing, so I have used a ton of green tabs, but I'm really enjoying it so far because it's really making me pay a lot more attention to the things that I am reading. Sometimes when I'm reading a heavy high fantasy book, I sort of just speed through it and I really enjoy it, but I definitely don't pay attention as much as normal. So this is making me pay attention a lot more and it's been a really good experience so far. The pink tabs are for anything I love Bryce and Hunt specific. So if there are any cute scenes between them, romantic scenes, spicy scenes, or just beautiful writing that I wanted to note, I use pink tabs for that. Orange tabs are anything that is funny because this book has been full of humor so far, which I have loved. Yellow is for anything shocking, so plot twists or anything that just like totally blow my mind. I've already had multiple plot twists in the first 100 pages, so I have a feeling this book is going to be quite the ride. And then the dark purple tabs are for anything rune specific. So kind of what the pink tabs are to Bryce, the dark purple tabs are to Rune, just because we get his POV a lot in the book and I just want to specify totally separate tabs for him and his scenes. But I am absolutely loving the book so far. It's already a 5-star and I really don't know where it's gonna go though. We have been introduced to new characters. We have a lot of new plot points going on. It's crazy. I don't know how she keeps it all straight because I'm having a hard time. But once again, it's been really good to get back into this world. I love the urban fantasy setting for this book. I love just the little things that SJM puts in here that are so relatable, that kind of bring me out of the fantasy world and remind me of how modern and urban this series is compared to like ACOTAR or Throne of Glass. One of the scenes that I really liked was Bryce was looking under her bathroom sink, like in the cabinet for something, and there was a line where she was just rooting around in that cabinet and was like pushing past all of these old eyeshadow palettes, and I'm like, that is so relatable. I have like a disgusting amount of old eyeshadow palettes under my bathroom sink, so I just like that little added element of the story. Also, Bryce and Hunt do talk about watching reruns of their favorite reality show, so I really like that. On the flip side, there is a ton of complicated world building though going on, but I think it's not as bad as the first book. I know that some people did have some complaints about House of Earth and Blood because the first 200 pages are like info dumpy and so much goes on and it's kind of confusing. I think this book is better paced. We are getting a lot of new information, but I don't think that she's just like word vomiting all over us all this new information. I think she's parsing it out better than in the first book, so I really like that. There are a few new characters who I am not excited about. Cormac and Celestina feel like they're gonna be a problem on multiple levels, so we will see where that goes. And I hate the Autumn King. I hate the Autumn King. I thought maybe he was gonna be a character who could potentially have some redemption in the future, but I feel like even after only reading 100 pages of this book, it's fuck the Autumn King. That's how I'm feeling. He is the worst. So I am really hoping to read about 50% of this book today. I think I can do it. I did read A Cord of Silver Flames when that came out in like a day and a half, and I was more highly anticipating this book, so I do feel like I will get pretty far in it today. I'm going to go read maybe like 150 more pages, and then I will check in with you guys and let you know more of what I think. Okay, hi besties. Another update. Welcome to my bed, by the way. That's just like where I'm at right now, so that is where we are filming this update. I have just read another 100 pages of House of Sky and Breath, so I'm at about the 200 page point, which means I am now 25% of the way through the book. I'm definitely reading a lot slower than I normally would because of my annotating, but it is a really enjoyable experience because one thing I've done in the past with Sarah J Maas books, I love them, but I read them way too quickly. Like I read Throne of Glass so quickly and ACOTAR so quickly, and I really enjoyed them, but like I couldn't tell you details about those books if I tried. So kind of forcing myself to slow down, think about the details, pay attention to what people are saying has been a really good time. As far as updates go, this will probably be pretty short just because there is a lot going on, so much going on. I can't believe like with how much is going on now, and we're only a quarter of the way into the book. I have no idea what the hell else she's gonna write. Like what else could she possibly have to drop on us? I'm sure it's gonna be insane, whatever it is, but I'm just like, this is already so much. Like we don't need to do anything else, but I know she will. I know we're gonna have way more stuff going on. I know with Sarah J Maas books, the farther you get into them, the more insane they get. So I'm sure like we haven't even really scratched the surface, but I'm happy to say, well, happy might not be the right word, but I'm cautiously optimistic that there were some people that I was concerned about who they are and their motives that might potentially be not bad guys. I don't know though. I don't really trust anyone. Like my trust issues are on 11 right now because I just feel like I don't really know what these people are doing. I don't really know what they're looking for. I don't really know if their motives are pure. So we'll see. So it's about 6 p.m. now. I'm probably going to keep reading for the rest of the night, and I don't know if I will update you guys again tonight. If I do, it's going to be at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, but I might just wait until tomorrow to like really give you guys a bigger update when I'm like maybe halfway through, maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, this book owns me. Like I'm absolute trash for Hunt and Bryce, and we finally got like a tiny itty bitty ounce crumbs of some romance. Thank God, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I'm having a great time. I'm living my best life, and I will talk to you guys very soon.
We all feel misunderstood. Trying to get my mind right, baby, please.
Okay, hi guys. I am 50% of the way through House of Sky and Breath. It is going amazing. This book owns me. I am trash for it. Like, this is my new religion. I'm having a great time. I'm having so much fun. I am still feeling very nervous. I have absolutely no idea how this book is going to end. I have seen nothing but very outsized big reactions online to the ending. I haven't seen any spoilers, so I have no idea how it's going to end, but Twitter and Instagram and Reddit and just all over the internet, I have been seeing people react to this book and in very shocked and I don't know, like I am dying to finish this book because I just have to know what is going on. Like I said, I'm 50% of the way through the book, so I do kind of want to try to finish it today. I think that I could. I have 400 pages left, which I have definitely read 400 pages in a day before, and I'm just so tired of not knowing what happens at the end of this book. So I really think I could get there after I film this. I'm gonna go right back into reading. Also, I'm sorry about the lighting in this video, you guys. It's been all over the place. I haven't really been using my ring light for filming this vlog just because with vlogs, I just like to keep it more casual and I just don't really feel like setting up my ring light. But the weather has just been all over the place this week, and yesterday was so dark and gray and rainy, and then today it's like so sunny. So I apologize for the whiplash on the lighting, but us Washingtonians have to take advantage of the sun when we can. But without getting into any spoilers, of course, I did just want to talk about a few things with the book that I am loving. I forgot how much I love Declan and Flynn, who are Rune's like two best friends. We do get a bit more of them in this book, and I love them so much. I just want like a separate book about them. They are so funny and really provide the comic relief within the group, which I'm loving. I also feel very like Scooby-Doo vibes with the story, and I kind of felt that way with the first book too. I love that the gang is always investigating a mystery, and this one is even more intense. Okay, so now the sun is behind a cloud, so we're just working with what we got here. I absolutely love how rich this world is. There are so many different creatures and so many different like political rankings, and it's making the story so interesting. That is something that I prefer about the Crescent City novels to ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. I mean, Throne of Glass was pretty intricate as well, but Crescent City is so intricate. intricate. The magic systems, the creatures, the worlds, the planets, the, you know, who's in charge of what. I don't even know. I still don't really know as I'm reading this. I'm kind of like, yeah, sure, okay, that person's in charge of that. That person has this magical power. If you say so, Sarah Janet. I don't really know. It makes the reading experience super, super interesting and makes the annotating pretty dense. I'm already running out of tabs and I might have to go buy more before I finish this book because I have used way more than I thought I would. I also wanted to provide you guys with a little bit of tea that I got last night. Not really tea, I don't really know. I did attend the Sarah J. Maas Crescent City House of Sky and Breath live tour thing that she did. Basically, she just pre-filmed a live stream. If you bought her edition of her book, which I did because I love having multiple editions of the same book, you got to watch this stream. So it was really cool, and she answered just a lot of questions about Crescent City and how she came up with the series and a little bit about House of Sky and Breath, completely spoiler free. But at the end, the interviewer did ask her oh, what are you working on next? You know, what can we expect from you? And that is what me and everyone else in the stream was basically waiting for, because we just wanted to hear a crumb of anything about the next ACOTAR book. She did say that the next book that we will be seeing from her is the third Crescent City book. So the next book following this one is the next book that she will be releasing, which I thought was interesting because I feel like she's kind of been on a Crescent City ACOTAR schedule once a year, but we are going to get the next book in this series first before the next ACOTAR book, which is exciting because I love Crescent City. I think I might prefer it to ACOTAR, but I know that so many people, I would say arguably ACOTAR is her most popular series. It might not be her best, but it is her most popular. So I know that a lot of people are anticipating that next book coming out, but it sounds like we're not getting it for a while. I don't know. She was kind of evasive with it too. So I wonder if maybe she's just not allowed. Maybe her publisher has said she is not allowed to even talk about the next ACOTAR book at all. But I did just want to let you guys know that it sounds like we are going to be waiting probably years if I had to guess, because she kind of releases one book a year. So if the next book is Crescent City 3, that's going to come out in 2023. And then maybe the next ACOTAR book is going to come out in 2024. So I just wanted to let you guys know that just because I thought it was interesting. And if you are a fan of all of her books, I'm sure you're very curious of when the next ACOTAR book is coming out. So my goal is to finish this book today. I just need to get to the freaking ending, you guys. I have seen so many people's reactions and I am terrified and so damn curious what the hell happens at the end of this book, because people's reactions have been huge, but I just need to know. I need to know what type of heartbreak I am in for. So I'm gonna go continue reading, and then I will either check in with you guys maybe at the 75% or 80% point, or when I finish it. I'm not really sure. I do kind of want to film my reaction to the end, so I will check in with you guys once I've read either a little bit more or once I finish the book. Hi besties, I am doing my final check-in before I finish the book. I have about 60 pages left. I'm feeling nervous, feeling very nervous, feeling very concerned. I feel like what they're about to do doesn't seem like a good idea, but they're all yeah, this is gonna work. Sure, it's probably gonna be dangerous, but we can do it. And I'm can you? I don't think you guys should be doing this, but who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised. But I have a feeling, knowing it's SJM, I'm about to get my ass kicked by this book. So I'm going to read the next 60 pages of this book, finish House of Sky and Breath, and I will see you guys on the other side. Oh my fucking God. I'm dead. I am dead. I am deceased. I'm a ghost. Holy shit. That is my review of this book. Holy shit. I feel like I can't even speak. I don't have the words to describe how the ending of that book made me feel. How the last line of that book made me feel. I need to reread it. I'm gonna reread that last little part. Okay, hold on. Alright guys, so it is time to wrap this vlog up with my non-spoilery thoughts. At the very end of this video, I am gonna have a little like spoilery discussion with myself, with you guys, but I will clearly mark that and let you know before that happens. So this section is the non-spoiler kind of final thoughts that I have. So the last clip you guys saw of me was from last night, where I was crying, where my mind was blown, where I just kept saying, oh my fucking God, over and over again. And I woke up this morning feeling hungover, basically. I cannot believe how fantastic this book was. I mean, I can't believe it. I expected it to be amazing, but I did not expect it to go in the direction that it went, and I did not expect to have such a emotional reaction to the ending, but I loved it. This book is obviously a 5-star for me. I feel like Sarah J. Maas was able to achieve so much in this book, and I feel like this book really represents like a turning point for all of her books from now on, and I cannot wait to see where things go. I did end up annotating quite a bit. This is only the second book that I've ever annotated, and it was so much fun. I'm definitely going to reread this book one day, probably not for a while because I need like several months of recovery before I even touch this book again, but it's gonna be really great to look back on my annotations, and I did write some notes in the book as well, so I'm really, really glad that I did that. This book did a great job of balancing humor, fantasy, romance, a little bit of sci-fi, and some very sad and depressing things as well. This book also left us on a major cliffhanger, and I don't know what I'm going to do between now and when the next book comes out. That is going to be all I think about for the next year or 2 years, because God knows we probably aren't getting anything from Sarah J. Maas until at least 2023, but I hope that you guys really enjoyed watching this vlog and watching me go through like, what is it, 5 or 7 stages of grief and just going through all of these emotions. This book also just reaffirmed that Bryce is definitely my favorite Sarah J. Maas character. I loved reading about her, all 802 pages or however long it is, and I just like, I cannot wait until the next book comes out. It's gonna be so long, so far from now, but I had so much fun reading this. I hope that you guys had fun watching me. Okay, so now is the time that if you do not want to be spoiled for House of Sky and Breath, you should click off now. I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video. If you do want to be spoiled, stick around. I know that there are people out there who like to be spoiled because they get anxious about like plot twists and cliffhangers and things like that, and I respect that. So whether you have already read the book, just don't really care and want to be spoiled anyway, or have never even heard of the series and you're just enjoying watching the video, go ahead and stick around. But if you do not want to be spoiled, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you will like and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content, and I will just catch you guys in the next one. Okay, hi bitches. Let's talk spoilers. I need to just like shout into the void about this book. This was insane. This was absolutely insane. Before I get to the ending, because I will obviously be talking about that, I just want to go through a few like theories and thoughts I had throughout the book and whether they were correct or not. So the first thing that I want to discuss is the prologue. I seriously thought that one, the prologue was like way in the past, and that Emil was going to be Hunt's dad, because we left off with House of Earth and Blood saying that, oh, you know, Hunt's dad is unknown and Hunt also has like more power than he knows, and like it just, there's a lot of mystery around Hunt and his lineage and who he is and his magic and everything. I for sure thought, oh my God, Emil is going to be Hunt's dad, and like Hunt is going to be a Thunderbird, and like it's going to be this whole origin story thing. And then come to find out, the prologue is like happening in present day in the book. So that was my bad. I was stupid. I really thought that I had figured SJM out, but no. She was like, babe, absolutely not. A few other things. One, Cormac. Oh my God. When I tell you, when we read that scene of Cormac walking into Rune's party saying, I'm here to see my fiance, I'm here to meet my bride, I said, absolutely fucking no, you are not. I was so worried that we were going to have to deal with Bryce deciding between Cormac or Hunt. And I knew that Cormac was not going to be endgame, because one thing that Sarah J Maas does that I really love is she has great names for all of her characters. They're all very interesting and unique, and most of the time very beautiful. And I just knew, I was like, we are not gonna have a love interest named Cormac. Like, I'm sorry, we have Rhysand, Cassian, Rowan, even Hunt is like a cool, hot name. And then Cormac, I was like, no, absolutely not. It'll be a cold day in hell before I am standing a Bryce and Cormac ship. So I knew that wasn't gonna be the case. I just knew that there was no way that this man was going to take over as Bryce's love interest. And I'm really glad that it did not go in that direction. Another thing that I was very worried about was Ethan. Ethan's story and role in this book was super interesting. He obviously took on a way bigger role in this book than he did in House of Earth and Blood, which I was very surprised by. And I don't quite know how I feel about Ethan like having this like long crush on Bryce that he was never able to admit or talk about. I don't really know how I feel about that. I was also really afraid that the big plot twist at the end of the book was going to be Ethan revealing that he and Bryce were mates. He made a comment in the book like he even thought that they might be mates if that tug to her, you know, was true or something like that, if that gut feeling he had was accurate. And I was like, they're gonna be mates. And then I thought, well, maybe Sarah J Maas is going to explore like one of her characters rejecting the mating bond, and she would end up with Hunt, and her and Ethan would just decide like, even though we're mates, we're not really right for each other, and like love conquers all and blah blah blah. But I just thought, like, I am not going to be able to sit through a book of Bryce trying to decide between Hunt, who is like obviously who she should end up with, and Ethan, and her being like, well, you know, I've never felt this way for Ethan, and I've never really liked him, but we are mates and the gods know all, so maybe I should give him a shot. Like, I was really afraid that that was going to happen, and I'm so glad that it didn't. Another thing that I really enjoyed was the Agent Daybright and Rune romance. That was so cool. I loved the visuals of Agent Daybright being all flame, and then Rune being disguised in all like dark stars and skies and everything. I thought that that was a really beautiful visual, and I really hope that some artists do like fan art of that, because I think that is going to be so gorgeous. But I really enjoyed that part of the book because I had a hard time guessing who it was. At first I thought it was Hypoxia, because we hadn't heard about her at all in the book, because in the first book Rune and Hypoxia, they're definitely like attracted to each other, I feel like, or at least Rune is attracted to Hypoxia, but it doesn't really go much farther than that. And I thought, oh, maybe they're gonna like get to know each other without seeing each other's faces and realize like, oh my god, I love you, like you're the love of my life, I'm so glad that we had the opportunity to get to know each other this way. And then it would be revealed that it was Hypoxia, who he was destined to marry anyway. I kind of thought it might go that way, but then I also thought that it might have been Celestina, because when Agent Daybright talks about how she like essentially has to have sex with the male who she is sharing a bed with, and she has duty, and she has like an important family and all of this stuff, I was like, oh, maybe it's Celestina, and the man that she's like having to have sex with is Ephraim, I think his name is, who is that other archangel that she has been told by the Asteri that she has to mate with and like create this powerful being or whatever. I thought it was Celestina for a really long time, and I was like, oh my gosh, well this is such a cool thing too. But then the moment when I knew that it was the Hind was when I believe it was Rune and Ethan were in like that bar and they were playing cards, and then the Hind and the Harpy walk into the bar and sit down with him. When Rune sees the Hind like for the first time, he says the line, and I'm paraphrasing, but like, she was the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, or like, and then I saw the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, which is almost an identical line to when Feyre saw Rhys for the first time. So I was like, yep, I know Sarah J Maas's patterns, I know this line, so I knew that the Hind was going to be important to Rune in some way. And then I just started to put it together that like, oh, I bet that the Hind doesn't really like Pollux. I bet that she's a double agent. She has the, you know, witch lineage with Hypoxia going on. So that was a great great reveal. I thought that that was really well done. I did guess it a little bit early on, but I was still open to the idea that maybe it is Hypoxia, maybe it is Celestina. So I loved that. And then I loved the moment at the autumnal equinox party when Hunt and Bryce are trying to like go have sex in a coat closet, and they find out that Celestina and Hypoxia are lovers and they're together. That was such a funny reveal, but also beautiful, and I'm so excited for them, and I cannot wait to see where that goes, because that is like so intense with Celestina's current situation and Hypoxia's current situation. I mean, I know SJM is gonna give everyone a happy ending, but oh my god, that was such a good reveal. And then Bryce was so funny during that whole scene where she's obviously like very nervous and realizing like, oh my god, I've just found out information that like I'm not sure if I should know, and this is very sensitive. And she's like making a joke about how, you know, she took a chance on Hunt, and she says something like, yeah, and then I took a chance on this idiot and it ended up working out. And I loved that. This book was so funny. I have so many tabs for humor. That was the orange tabs. Anytime I saw something funny, I put an orange tab in, and that was so good. That was one that really stood out to me, so I absolutely loved that. And then I just love the introduction of all the new characters we got and the in-depth look at a lot of characters that we met in the first book. I love Declan and Flynn so much. They are everything. When, I forget if it was Declan or Flynn, but basically said like, hey Rune, so you know how it's like pretty sexist how we don't have any female roommates? Like that was so funny. I love that we have some fire sprites back in the mix, because Leaba was a really great character. The dragon is very interesting. Ariadne, I'm very curious to see where that goes. And finally, the ending of this book slapped me in the fucking face. Oh my god. See, the whole time that I was reading this book, anytime I read a Sarah J Maas book, I'm thinking like, oh, are we gonna get a little hint or a little clue or a little like, you know, Sarah J Maas winking at us being like, oh hey, Rona Glass mention, Agatar mention, Crescent City mention, like something kind of vaguely could be interpreted as all these universes are connected in some way. But she said, no, I'm gonna give it to you on a full fucking platter. First of all, the reveal of the Asteri basically using all of these different creatures and taking them from their lands into Midgard and go into all the different planets to try to conquer them. That was crazy, but I thought it was brilliant, honestly. I love that because I feel like there are so many directions she can take this from now on, and it just affirms that like the Sarah J Maas multiverse is like this whole giant thing, and they are all connected through this bad connection of the Asteri, you know, taking them, you know, putting them in their lands to feed off of. I was blown away by that. And so I think what I have seen is that Danica and the Shifters, those type of creatures, are descendants of like the Throne of Glass world, and then obviously the Fae are descendants from the Akatar world. Also, side note, I feel like Danica didn't trust Bryce. She's obviously, you know, she has passed, like, respect it, they're besties, whatever, but I feel like Danica did not trust Bryce with anything. And if I was Bryce, I would be like, were we even friends? Like, you literally didn't trust me with anything. Like, why would she not tell her, like, who her mate is? I feel like Bryce would understand. And she didn't tell her who her dad was. Like, Bryce has, you know, a horrible dad. Bryce has dealt with a lot of, like, crazy things. She has this big secret about being starborn. And then Danica didn't tell her a damn thing. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know. It kind of made me like side-eye Danica a little bit, that I'm like, you did not trust this girl, and she was apparently your best friend. But anyway, the last chapter of this book is maybe my favorite chapter of any book ever of all time. When Bryce first landed in what she thought was hell, and she's talking about like, oh, there's like grass, I'm on someone's front lawn. I genuinely did still think that she was in hell, and I thought maybe she's just at like the top layer, and like hell isn't as bad as it has been made to seem, but maybe as you go deeper into hell, it would get worse and more be characteristic of what hell would be like. But I truly thought like, oh, she's just on the first level of hell, like this is a whole new world for Sarah J Maas to explore, so she can make it whatever she wants. And then when the beautiful male with leathery wings came to her, for a second I thought, is that one of the bad boys? But I was like, no, like there's no way. I thought maybe this is going to be just like a demon, whoever like the first prince of the first layer of hell is or whatever. I thought that it was gonna be him. And I thought too, I was like, oh my god, is this gonna be like a new love interest for Bryce? Like my mind went there as well. But then let me see, like when was the moment that I realized like where things were going with that chapter? Okay, so the moment that I kind of realized like what was happening, even though I did for a second think, is this one of the bad boys? But then I was like, no, there's no way. But when the line, "A cart of liquor and crystal decanters beside the black marble fireplace." I don't know why, but that just like triggered me to think like, this is ACOTAR, because I just remember the scenes of them like all being in the living room together and like opening winter solstice presents together and things like that. And I feel like the bar cart that they have has been mentioned. I don't know why that made me realize where this was going. And then as soon as it said, "The petite dark-haired female with the angular eyes like Fury's drew up short," I was like, holy shit, that's Amren. Because I've always compared Fury and Amren in my mind, and I think that we're meant to, but I knew. I was like, that is Amren. Oh my god, we're actually doing this. And then Cassian and Nesta walk in, and we don't get too many identifiers about them, but you know, basically she says the broader, you know, winged male said something, and then the woman with golden brown hair like reprimanded him, and I was like, that's classic Cassian and Nesta. I'm sure Cassian said something like stupid about Bryce, and Nesta was like, what the fuck, like we don't know what's going on, shut up. And then when Feyre walked in, when she mentioned the paint on her clothes, I started crying because I was like, yep, this is happening. Oh my god. And then of course the final line of the book, "Hello Bryce Quinlan, my name is Rhysand." Best line of my life, best line ever. I'm so impressed and blown away that Sarah J Maas was able to combine and connect these worlds in such a amazing way, and in such a big way that I feel like is going to just, you know, as I said, I feel like this is a game changer for her novels moving forward. All of them are connected by this one thing, essentially, that the Asteri have, you know, brought them into different lands and taken them from their homes and fed off of them. And now this makes so much sense that Sarah J Maas said in her live stream that the next book is going to be the third Crescent City book, because I think a lot of other people were like, why would she not put out an ACOTAR book next? She usually alters them. But I think what we're going to get is this story continued on, and I think it will be wrapped up, because technically she is only signed on to do 3 Crescent City books. I do think she's going to do more, especially because there are 4 houses, and so far she has named each book after a house, so I'm like, why would she not do 4 books? But anyway, definitely the next book is going to be the third Crescent City book, and I'm so curious how much of the inner circle we are going to get with Bryce. I hope it's not like too much. Here's the thing, I love this like That's So Sweet Life of Hannah Montana crossover moment that we're getting, but I still do like the separation of the series. I would just prefer like little bits of them. Like, I don't want like 500 pages of like Bryce hanging out with the inner circle, just because there's so much going on in the Crescent City world and like that whole backstory that I feel like we should focus on that. And I want Bryce and Hunt to get reunited, because now Hunt, I believe, I mean, my interpretation, he's been like made a slave again, and he has the tattoo on his brow again, so that's just a whole fucking mess that Bryce is gonna have to deal with, which is crazy. I also hope that we somehow get the Throne of Glass crew involved, even if it's in a minor way. All I want in my life is for Rhysand and Aelin to meet, because I feel like they would either love each other or like kill each other. They're just very similar to me, and I think that they would be so fun to write about, and I feel like Rowan and Feyre could relate and just be like, oh my god, our partners are like very intense people. I just need that in my life. I need Sarah J Maas to write a scene where Aelin and Rhys meet. And I also feel like this kind of opens up a potential for our Sarah J Maas books going to now be something that you kind of have to read in publication order. You know, how far is she going to take this connecting the series between each other? That'll be very interesting, because, you know, as of now, you can obviously read Throne of Glass by itself, ACOTAR by itself, and Crescent City by itself. But I would argue, moving forward, like, you need to read all of her books in publication order, because years from now, when like more books are out, you might not want to read the ACOTAR series entirely on its own and then the Crescent City series, because what if there are spoilers from this series and that series and vice versa? And so it opens up this whole new world and this whole new potential for what her books are going to be. It absolutely blew my mind. Absolutely was the perfect ending, my favorite ending of a book I have ever read. And I don't know, that's all I have to say, you guys. I would love to hear your thoughts. Of course, I don't want people to give away spoilers in the comments down below, so if you do want to talk about ACOTAR or Crescent City or anything like that, you can always message me on Instagram. I will have my Instagram linked down below. I don't have a bookstagram yet. I'm going to make one. I'm just waiting because I kind of just want to like focus on BookTube and do that, and then like get a bookstagram in a few months. But if you want to message me on my Instagram, I'm gonna have my personal Instagram linked down below. I don't really post that often on there, but you can absolutely message me and we can freak out over these books. But I just want to say, if you have made it to this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I super appreciate it. If you did enjoy, please like, please subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next one.